footage. So when you flip the picture, to me it arrives like 10 seconds later. So I hear you say like, "Oh, I did this and this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay." And 10
Sure.
seconds later, it goes click, right? Like,
That's very true. I always forget about the delay.
and no, do not listen to chat and do not draw a mustache on me, a moustache. That's it's under the mask, guys. There is a mustache under the mask. You can't see it, unfortunately, but there is a quite beautiful mustache, if I may say.
Wait, you have a moustache now?
Yeah, it's under the mask. It's
Oh, but you was like so good looking without a moustache.
oh, I look amazing with a mustache as well. You just can't see it.
I've never seen you with a moustache.
Oh, it looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. I wish you could see, but I can't. I can't take off the mask. It would be, it's contagious.
It's contagious. Yeah, because I mean,
In
like,
this
Europe
day and
isn't doing
age.
very well with COVID. Just keep your mask on.
Exactly.
I might catch it through the internet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You know, when the whole COVID thing started, and everybody at work, at every work meeting ever, made the joke to whether everybody had a good antivirus installed, right? Because
Yeah.
they didn't want to be contagious.
Yeah. Wait, they got the
I don't know
antivirus
if that's...
installed?
Yeah, everybody made like a joke about viruses on the internet and about having antivirus installed on meetings. I'm not sure if anybody else.
I don't think
other
that really
people
ever
made
came
this
to
joke, but-
Australia. We just
Oh, you guys
hoarded
did
toilet
really
paper.
good, right?
We did do really
You guys-
good. We just decided to hoard toilet paper instead. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had that too, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that's a bit of a worldwide phenomenon, isn't it?
I swear to God, it started here, and every time it came back, because we never really got it, so to say, and every time it came back, it went straight back to toilet paper hoarding every time. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's insane, right? Like, it literally, the second there's like a notice that there's gonna be another wave, everything is just sold out, right? All of these
Yeah.
like life necessities, just people start buying them in bulk.
Like, if it came back to Australia tomorrow, toilet paper would go again. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I
It's
know...
really fascinating that you guys did so well, though. Like, I think it's really amazing because isn't it like, especially on a continent like Australia, if you had something like that, wouldn't it be even harder to like kind of like contain it in a way because it's kind of secluded in a way.
Wouldn't it be easier
what
to
I mean?
contain because it's secluded?
Isn't it? No, wait. I don't think I'm thinking about Australia. I think it's like New Zealand or something where you can't bring certain food to something because of or like invasive species or something because if animals get released into the wildlife, because it's so because it's such a secluded ecosystem, right?
I
That
think so.
that foreign animals can spread out really fast and like become a real problem.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's Australia or if it's. Or
I
if
think it's
maybe
both.
New
I know we
Zealand,
do have like animals here that have like spread like wildfire, and they're being brought in for overseas, and like it's not good because it's messing up things.
Yeah.
But the reason why I think Australia did so good with COVID is because we got it much later than you guys. So by then we knew exactly what was well, we didn't know exactly, but we knew more of what was happening and how bad it was. So as soon as it got to Australia, everyone was like, "Nah, lockdown," instantly.
Yeah, you probably never made the mistake to let like a whole cruise ship of infected people board.
No, we did. That's how
land.
we got it, pretty much.
Oh yeah, okay.
The Ruby
Okay,
Princess.
never mind then. Because that was a big issue. I remember that being a big issue in Italy. I think like when they let all the cruise ships on land.
We were turning everyone like every cruise ship away or something, and then there was this one cruise ship, the Ruby Princess, and they let everyone
Princess.
off, and they didn't test any of them, and that's pretty much like where the majority of our cases came from. So if we never let the Ruby Princess here, Australia would have been pretty much like perfect. Pretty much.
Damn cruise ships.
Yeah, it was that
I
one
never
cruise
trust
ship.
cruise ships.
I was meant to go on a
Don't
cruise ship
trust-
this year, and I was meant to go to Germany.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, that would have been awesome. That would have been such a reunion.
I know. I was going to go up to What's the main place at the top of Germany? Hamburg? No.
Hamburg, yeah, it's in the
Yeah,
north.
I was gonna meant to go like there on the cruise ship. Well, I was meant to start from Amsterdam
Okay.
and it goes through Norway and Germany. It goes all the way to Russia, to
Oh,
St.
damn, like
Petersburg,
a
and
very
then
northern German. Hmm?
yeah, and then it spends like a night in St. Petersburg, and goes back again to Amsterdam. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
no, Hamburg is a nice city. That would have been lovely. Although it's
Yeah,
quite far from where I am. Like that would have been
yeah, I
quite the road
know.
trip.
But then I was going to holiday beforehand and holiday afterhand, and like I was gonna be like Roca, I'm coming back to Germany, but then that got like pretty much canned the end of last year, so I never made any plans.
Because of the
Yeah,
COVID.
because of
Yeah.
COVID. I guess it was
No,
the
it's
start of
bad.
last year actually. But we paid our deposit and everything, so I don't
Dude,
know
it's so
what's happening.
it's so long ago at this point, right? It's an entire year.
To think that it's called COVID-19 and we're in 2021, like
Yeah. It's
that
it's insane.
yeah,
It's crazy.
how fast time flies sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, really. Like I remember when it was actually about this time last year that our my office decided to send us home into home office, right? Because
Hmm.
I work in web design, and I'm in one of those very um privileged situations, right, where our jobs aren't really very affected, or I can do my job very effectively from home. I don't really need to be at the office.
Yeah, you can work at
So this
home.
doesn't yeah, like for us, it was literally just they were able to say, okay, guys, take everything you need, take it home, set up a home office, and work from home, right?
Yeah,
Um, and I can still remember that all feeling like it felt like a big road trip in a way, right? But now it's just life, right? Back then I thought, okay, if we're lucky, we're gonna get like I still considered myself lucky then, right? I was like, okay, well, works out nicely for me in a way, right? If I'm lucky, maybe I get to, have home office for like 2 months or something.
yeah.
Well, little did I know.
Where are you now? Are you
Um,
back at work or are you at home?
I'm at well, both.
Oh, really?
I am at home, and I've been working in home office since March 2020.
Wow, so you're still working from home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Over here is really
It's
split.
never
Like
resolved.
some people are back at work, like my mom's back at work, but then Matt has a friend John and he's working at home. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, here it's like you pretty much get to choose if you want to go to work or work from home.
The
Yeah.
statute here is really that every job that has the ability to send you home is supposed to send you home.
Oh
You know,
wow.
like if there's a chance that you could work from home, do your job from home, then your employer is kind of asked to do that in a
Oh my
way. But
goodness.
at the same time, there's plenty of jobs that you just can't perform from home, right?
That's
There's
fair
plenty of
enough.
jobs that are important
Have
where you have to go, but yeah.
have people moved out of the main cities because they can now work from home? Like, are people moving like inland or to the country or like just out of the main cities now over there?
Well, I don't think to a point where I would like notice it,
Oh,
right?
fair
Like not
enough.
to a point where where maybe like the news would report it or something. But
Yeah.
I did for a little while. I actually because I live in a inner city apartment, right? It can get very I've,
Do you not
I don't
live
know
where
how
I
to
met
say it in
you?
English. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, you still live
exactly.
there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it's a fairly small apartment, right? I think you
Yeah,
saw it
I
once.
did.
It's a really small apartment,
It is really
and
tiny. It's really cool though.
yeah, it's very inner city, right? Like where you just can't afford a bigger place, but
Yeah. But it was
because
cozy. I thought
the
it was like a
rents are so
quite
high.
cool little
It's-
apartment. Yeah.
well, yeah, it's cozy indeed. Let's call it cozy. Let's call it cozy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if you sit in here for like a year, literally not allowed to leave the place,
Yeah,
right?
it
It
gets
can
very
get a little
small.
bit. The roofs can go down on your head, right? And
Yeah, a bit claustrophobic as Matt
yeah,
in
yeah,
chatty
a bit
saying.
claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So I actually took the opportunity last summer, and since I'm in home office, I moved to my dad's place for just like a month, right?
Yeah.
Because he lives a little bit more remote, where he can actually go outside, and it's not in like a crowded city.
How far
But
from
you
where
can
you
actually
does he live?
Like a good 1.5 to 2 hours
Oh, okay.
drive, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So that was nice. That's one of the perks of home office. It's like you can just take your PC and
Just travel.
you can kind of go anywhere, right?
You should just come to Australia then.
Yeah. I wish there weren't so many other factors preventing me from doing that.
I
I saw your stream
know.
the other day. I saw you stream an IRL stream the other day, and I just see you, and I'm sitting here in rainy old dark Germany,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, like my is broken, and I'm sitting
Oh
here with like three
no.
pullovers and a bathrobe, like just and I watch you like in like a summer outfit outside going to like a lighthouse on a beautiful summer day at the
Yeah.
beach, and I'm sitting here like that's so freaking unfair. It's like
I remember
even if I go
Lighthouse.
to the beach in Germany, it's still gonna be cold. Even like probably in summer, it's gonna be like like a German
Even in summer?
beach, right? Well, I mean, it's nice in summer, of course, right? But like the German beach, I would say is still like a little bit. It's not like the typical holiday beach, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
And when I look
Oh.
at an Australian beach, it just looks like all lovely and like it looks like you could photograph it and put it on a postcard.
We do have really nice beaches. I will say that.
But
I think we're pretty
if I'd see a
lucky.
German beach, oh yeah, absolutely beautiful. Like what I
Yeah.
saw on your stream the other day is absolutely gorgeous.
We go to a lot of beaches on stream actually. We go to quite a few. Because like I'm surrounded by beaches. Like there's one like 5 minutes from me. Actually, there's like six out of 5 minutes from me, and then the one in town has like this big. It's like a rock pool, but there's like all rocks around it, obviously rock pool, but all the waves crash against it. So like they have like these really massive like I don't know what you call it. Just the waves like come all the way up and like spray you and everything, and it's really cool. So I
Oh
take
yeah,
stream
like
there
in the
because
stream as well.
yeah,
That was awesome.
because I quite like that. That's pretty cool. But I like the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
My
I wish we
next
had a beach
one,
like that.
I want to go up north, an hour up north. There's another beach up there, obviously, and I want to go camel riding on the beach for a stream. So that one's coming up
Camel
soon.
riding?
Yeah, you can like pay, and they
As
take you on
in
like
riding a camel?
yeah, they take you on a camel tour
What?
on the beach.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Not, I don't usually think of camels when I think of Australia.
I didn't
Like
even know
there's
it
a
either until last week.
okay. Well, plethora of exotic animals I could think of when thinking of Australia, right? But not a camel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Australia has
Okay.
more camels than Arabic nations, says
Really?
chat. Really? I didn't know
Well,
that.
there you go.
I didn't even know we even had camels in Australia, to let alone like a camel tour. So, yeah, that's what I found out this
That's
week.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
insane. Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, see, there you go. Australia has so many animals that I can't like. I wouldn't be surprised, right?
I know.
You guys have so many exotic animals.
We do. We have some really cool animals. And then animals that I didn't even like, I thought were Australian. That people are like, no, they're not even Australian. I'm like, oh, which I can't think of right now. Wait,
Yeah,
chat
there's like
saying they were introduced ages ago to help travelers cross the desert. Oh, fair enough.
what makes sense. You have a lot
Yeah.
of desert over there, right?
Yeah. We're like
Dude,
half
Australia is
desert.
it's such an interesting ecosystem. Like one second we talk about how fantastic your beaches are and
Now we're talking about a
like
desert.
the exotic animals you have and etc. And it just sounds like a tropical island. And then the next thing is like, yeah, and we also have like a huge amount of desert.
Before I got this job, because like obviously I finished uni and I didn't really have a job and I wasn't getting a job, I was getting rejected by jobs. I actually wanted to get like a van or something and just like take off and do like a 3 month trip around Australia and film it just because it's
That
so
is the
different.
most German thing to do, by the way. Like
German, really?
just throwing that out there. It's like every German after high school will take like a few months trip to go to Australia and like I don't know, like
Travel
what's it called,
around.
backpack or something, right? Like do like a half a year of backpacking through Australia. That's the most German thing there
Actually,
is.
it's funny you say that because I remember a few years ago, my brother met this girl, and she was from Germany, and she did that. She finished school and came to Australia for a year, and he made friends with her, and then she went back to Germany, and went to
With all those German
college.
people who do it, I wouldn't be surprised if like every second person you meet in the streets is just a German backpacking, you know.
Yeah, I've actually met a few Germans at like festivals and stuff over here. But yeah, I would have loved to do that because everywhere you go, like if you go north, you got like all the tropic season and everything. So there's no winter or anything. It's just summer. Like no, it's just the wet and the dry season up north, and then down
Uh-huh.
south, you can get like 5 seasons in a day. And then Western Australia is completely different to like East Australia, and then you have like the middle of Australia that's like desert. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do a
It
trip
would
around
make for an
Australia.
amazing road trip. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
internet would be pretty
I
bad
met
though.
I met a few Dutch guys once that did a trip like that in Europe. They took like a year and they bought like a minivan and
Yeah,
just car toured through all of Europe. It was awesome.
that's pretty
It
cool.
was it looked really fun.
Oh my god, Hammy in chat, you don't want to live in the middle of Australia. I mean, you can. There's just not a lot there, except for a really big rock.
Is that the whole like red desert area? Is that like the outback or?
Yeah, that's outback Australia, and they have like Uluru or Ayers Rock. Um, it's an Aboriginal landmark
Oh,
thing.
okay.
It's a big red rock. It's actually quite cool. You used to be able to climb it, but now you can't. Um, you used to do tours and everything up it, but
Oh, I think I heard of that. What is? Doesn't it have a name?
yeah, Uluru.
It's all of. Oh, what? Okay.
Uluru.
I guess I didn't recognize that as much as I guess I would have.
So Uluru is the Aboriginal name, and Ayers Rock
How do you
is
spell
like
that?
U L. Fuck, I don't know. Ulu.
Uluru?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Uluru?
Uluru.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely seen pictures of that before. Yeah,
Yeah, the big rock.
that is a big rock.
It's huge.
Very cool though, and red and all of that. It's very cool.
Yeah. So you used to be able to climb it and everything, but now um, it's been heritage listed and stuff, and people
It
now
looks like
can't climb
it
it.
looks like the kind of thing that that you'd have to eventually close down for climbing because of a lot of entitled bred families coming there and throwing their
Yeah.
Capri Sun on top of it,
Yeah.
having a little snack and eating a sandwich out of aluminum foil and littering
Aluminum. Aluminium foil. Yeah, pretty much. No, you can still walk
aluminium
around
foil. I'm
it.
sorry.
You can still walk around and go up close and everything. You just can't go on top. I think it's just to
Hmm.
preserve it and everything as well. Yeah.
No, that is right. I do think that historic like natural landmarks do have to be protected from people because I don't know. I feel like whenever there's like a landmark like this, people like look the most destructive to Earth,
Yeah.
because there's nothing more destructive to Earth than like a tourist group.
That's
There's no
true.
type of person that I feel like tourists just generally don't take care of shit around them.
Yeah.
There's like a sense of entitlement to it
That's a very good
when
point.
tourists come in place and they think like, oh, this is my vacation. I can do whatever the fuck I want now. They should have put up bins or something if they didn't want me to litter.
Oh, Chatty's saying that there's actually footmarks on the rock where the tourists are walking, so it was actually wearing the rock down, which makes sense. If you're gonna have people climbing it, it's gonna like
Hmm.
wear down the ground. But it's
And
true
it
when
looks like
tourists come along, it ruins it.
it's like a sandy rock, right?
Yeah,
That probably gets worn down. Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty cool though.
interesting.
God, now I'm just thinking back when I was like in Germany. It's like, how did I treat the castles? I'm sure I was nice to the castles. I'm like, I wasn't one of
No, the
those
thing is
bad
like
tourists, were I? Was I?
no, but look, like castles are also those are like something man-made, right? And usually those man-made attractions they will have man-made accommodations for tourists, right? But like national landmarks that
No, there's
that.
man-made tourist stuff at this one. Like, there's a cafe that's built there.
All right, okay. If you go to the cafe, then I think it's all like that's not where I mind, right? I feel like it's when it's like in these natural resources, right? When it's in these
Yeah.
natural places where you just feel like this is supposed to be like a, you know, something that's supposed to be kind of untouched by garbage, right?
No, I
And
understand.
yeah,
Yeah. I do like looking at Ayers Rock. It looks really cool. Or Uluru.
it
It's
does
so
look very cool.
weird.
I'm literally looking at a picture as well right now, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
same. By the way, guys, this is Roca. If you guys haven't read the title,
oh, what's up?
Roca is I don't know how to explain you. He's pretty much a guy who I love.
That is correct. Oh, thank you.
Who got me into well, he didn't get me into streaming. He helped me a buttload when I started streaming. And we met through Guild Wars 2. Yeah,
True, yeah.
pretty
Way back
true.
in the day.
I know, way back. And Shot's just come in, so
Yeah.
Shot will know who you are.
Hello, Shot.
Yeah, because he's from
It's a
Guild
name I,
Wars.
I, I recognize as well.
Yeah. So when I first started streaming, guys, I had no idea. Like, I just streamed myself, and it was pretty much to piss people off about streaming. And then I met Roca, and then Roca helped me set up OBS and helped me set up like overlays and how to
Who was
do
it? Who was it that you meant to piss off with streaming? Wait, what was?
Soren.
Oh, there was another. Soren. That's right. So what was the full Soren Noroku or something? Soren.
Oh, something like that. I don't remember
Oh
his
my
full name.
God. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, I remember. I remember. I was initially actually watching him. I think he started streaming before you,
He did start streaming
and
before me.
he
Yeah.
streamed your static raids, and then you at some point started streaming as well, right? And you were like part
Yeah.
of a static, and then you started streaming, and then like eventually I remember you just like overtook him and like with views and yeah, I remember. Oh God,
Yeah.
that is so long ago. That
I
is so long
know.
ago.
And I
Yeah,
met you
yeah,
because
yeah.
you were on his stream and we needed more people for the raid, and you and Yummy joined the group.
Oh, yummy sauce. Oh my God, yeah. All
Yeah.
these old names, man.
Yeah.
All these old names, dude.
And then Soren was like trying to big shot himself, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "I'm streaming." I'm like, "What is streaming?" He's like, "People are watching me play the game." I'm like, "Why the fuck are people watching you play a game? That's so stupid." He's like, "Yeah, there's this thing called Twitch, and I stream, and people watch me." And I'm like, "Man, those people are like fucking losers. They have no lives if they're watching someone play a game." And
And here we are.
and here we are now. And then he's like, "Yeah, Yummy's coming." I'm like, "Who the fuck is Yummy?" He's like, "He's this big streamer." I'm like, "He's a fucking nerd. That's what he is. What a loser." And then you came in, and then I'm like, well, fuck it. If Soren can stream, I'm gonna stream. Had no idea what Twitch was. Went onto Twitch, made an account, download OBS, click start, and I was like, what am I doing?
What a wholesome way to get into streaming. It's like what a story to tell your grandkids. Like yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, how did I start streaming? Well, I wanted to piss off these people.
nothing's changed. Yeah,
Well, I mean, I don't see Soren around anymore. I haven't. That's definitely that's oh, dude, I'm getting all nostalgic about
I
those
know.
days.
Isn't
Like
it
that
cool?
that was fun.
I still talk to Yummy on the odd occasion because I have him on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if he puts up a picture on Instagram or something, like he'll on the odd occasion like reply to something I put on a story. Or if he puts a story up, I like on the odd occasion reply to his story and stuff. And yeah,
Cool.
but that's about it.
That's kind of one of the beauties of social media, right? Is the ability
Yeah,
to keep in touch.
it is.
That
I
is
quite
lovely.
like it.
Yeah. I mean, I only ever interact with people like that. Maybe do you remember Mighty Teapot?
Yeah, I do.
Like
Yeah,
he's still true to Guild Wars 2, right? And
yeah, he is.
it's
Because you
like
were
the
on his
one point
podcast a
where
lot on Tea Time.
yeah, I used to be on his Tea Time. I used to be on there a bunch. Was really fun, really fun. It's too bad that this kind of podcast culture that was really rooted in Guild Wars 2, I think, that's kind of gone away.
Yeah,
Like since the game doesn't get so many updates anymore, it's I guess they just ran out of content for podcasts. and out of topics to talk about for a weekly podcast. So they eventually just stopped it.
Oh,
Uh,
really? There's no more tea
yeah, yeah,
time?
tea time. Yeah, it hasn't been for probably a year now or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or like very
wow.
occasional. If there's like a major update and he has like a major idea for guests.
Yeah, right. You like this
Yeah.
guy's accent? Roca's from Germany.
Oh, thank you very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I do.
Appreciates
I
it.
do like the accent is very.
Yeah. Roca's a cool guy. Um, I was gonna say, does he or has he done like those rating? Was he doing like rating championships or rating competitions or something?
Rating tournaments. That was like his big
Yeah.
attraction.
Is
Yeah,
he
he
still?
did. He did one last one right before I quit. That was actually the last thing. That was actually the final thing I did in Guild Wars 2. Was participate and actually win in that tournament, which was a pretty big deal.
When
That was
was that?
probably the biggest.
How long ago?
That was like uh, uh, early fall 2019, I
Oh
think.
wow! Have you not been on Guild Wars
Yeah,
since then?
yeah, yeah. It's been a long. I haven't been playing for a good 1.5 year now, I think.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, barely. I mean, I logged in once or twice, right? Like,
Yeah.
but far from where I would consider myself being an active player. Nowadays, I just rant about the game. I'm like in this,
Mm,
I'm like in this distant love-hate relationship where I've kind of broken up with the game, but I can't quite get away because it's such a big part of my life and my stream.
yeah, I feel the exact same way.
Um,
Yep.
and I always look back at Guild Wars 2, and I always look at its faults, right? Because
Yeah.
they're just so apparent to me, right? That it makes it hard for me to see the pros of the game in a way.
I just
So
love the
I'm
game
a
so
very
much.
yeah, same. But it's like with Guild Wars 2 was like I loved it so much that it just made all of the shortcomings so much more apparent, right? That all the
Yeah.
disappointments of the game felt so much worse, right? Because you had a certain amount of maybe unrealistic expectations for it that you could
Definitely.
just yeah.
It's such a good game, and then you want to play, and I open it up, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's right. This game is now shit. Or I guess like when
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
done everything, like when you get to the end game content, it's just the same
It's
end game content. Like,
yeah. It's very much a veteran problem, right? It's a great game for new players, and it's a
yeah,
terrible game for long-term players, unfortunately. You know,
exactly.
it's
And even with them bringing out new stuff, the new stuff's exactly the same as the old stuff. There's like nothing that's really new.
yeah, and it's always aimed at the player that plays very little. It's always
Yeah,
like kind of almost like it's how do you say it, right? It's like it's usually like open world and a bit of story, and
yeah.
not even really that much of that.
Or there could
So
be
it's
like
always
one new
like
fractal
okay,
level, which you guys get on and complete in like 20 hours. Like, oh, we've done that now. Let's do like challenge mode, and you
oh,
do that in like another 10 hours. And it's like, what?
much faster than that, much faster than that, and that's kind of a disappointment in itself, right? It's like when you because I think the last Fractal in Guild Wars 2 came out like after a year or before the last since the last one.
Yeah,
It's like if you wait for a year and then you get like one night of new content out of it, there's no real progress to it. It feels kind of easy,
I don't
like you
think I've
just
done the
kind of
last
face roll
fractal.
through.
Yeah,
Um, and that one's amazing. They brought out a challenge mode, and I love it. Right, like that's the 1 week I played Guild Wars 2, right?
yeah,
in that
that one
in that
week.
period since I've quit, right? It's like that one time they brought out content that I would consider interesting, right? But then, you know, um, but then it's like I mean, of course I was in a bit of a special spot, right?
Like the top
Um,
elite people.
I'm one of the nerds that raid a lot, and that's something I care about a lot. And raiders, of course, get the short stick,
Yeah,
as other communities in Guild Wars 2, right? Like as World Wars as well as they get
yeah,
the shortest, not short sticks. Then you have PvPers, and they don't exactly get a big stick as well. And
yeah.
but PvEs, if you're looking for instanced group content, that's
What were
not
you
looking
part
so
of?
well either.
It's not Snow Crows. What was your guild?
Lucky noobs we were called.
Lucky Noobs. That's right. So Roke was part of Lucky Noobs, which was a big. It wasn't really big. It was like a top elitist guild, and you guys
Yeah.
did builds and YouTube videos for people to, get the correct build
Yeah,
and to teach people
yeah.
how to do rotations for bosses. So Roca
Yeah, I mean,
was
it's
like
like
top tier level of raiding in Guild Wars, and his guild was also like low man stuff. So a typical raid is 10 man, but Roca would do like less than 10 man
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You'd
because he's
go
so
all the way
clever.
down to like 5 man, 4 man.
Yeah. So
And
for those who were just
but
wondering
that kind
where
of went
his
out of
level is,
fashion. It's like a way for players to recycle content in a way, right? It's like the less content you have, the more
yeah.
sweaty tryhards you get that just try to speed. It's like
We want to
people
find a
speed
challenge
running
for
old Mario
yourselves.
games, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You just want to find something to challenge yourself in a game that's aimed at mostly players that don't want to challenge themselves, and
like
like
me.
where the difficulty is scaled to accommodate every kind of level of skill, right?
Yeah.
Which is fair, which is fine. Um, it's like a way of engaging yourself in that kind of game. So that's kind of a community that grew in Guild Wars 2 and
I
eventually started making guides as well,
I
right,
actually
for
went
the
back to
fans.
Guild Wars 2 last year for the
Oh,
little bit. Yeah, my friend Anhai was doing raids, and I'm like, oh, let's just go play Guild Wars again. I started raiding for him like for a little bit, but we just weren't getting anywhere. And you know how hard it is to get someone where you don't have like a static group.
oh
So people just
yeah,
started not turning up, and then we had like new people. So it's back to like, half of us are knowing what we're doing, other half are like learning, and it's like, ugh. And then we just stopped again.
yeah.
But yeah, I was
No,
like,
I
oh,
see.
let's
I
play.
think like it becomes a lot more fun when you do have a static group, right?
Yeah, static groups were good. Um, Someone was asked something in chat a second ago about it. I wonder why World of Warcraft has managed to keep players for 10 years, always reinventing. Why do you think that is, Roka? Why can WoW keep a good player base against Guild Wars 2? Why do you think that would be?
Well, I mean, WoW's like is a staple in MMOs, right? It's the MMO,
Yeah.
and you have so many really driven long-term players that get a fair amount of content, but that doesn't mean that WoW always has a great time, right? You see a lot of disappointment in the WoW community, and
Mm,
I have a few friends that play WoW, and some of them even say that WoW was about to die before Vanilla came out and was almost
really?
saved by Vanilla, right? And it's because that got so many people back into retail
Oh,
through
wow.
Vanilla because that was this huge hype, right?
Yeah.
Um, it was but I mean, they've of course they have managed to keep their game alive, right? They've made new content on a large scale all the time. They never stopped. They never had like big downtime in an expansion, right? You
Yeah.
always know that there's going to be another expansion in WoW, and I think
Yeah.
this knowing that the future holds something, that's a big factor. I think that's something that's kind of that's something that a lot of people miss in Guild Wars 2, where you never
Definitely.
quite know what they're gonna do next. You never knew they're gonna do another expansion until they announced it, right?
Or it's just living
Um,
story. That's all the expansions are. Just more.
yeah, after every
Yeah.
like uh, after every expansion, you never knew if there was going to be another one. It always felt like, okay, maybe they stop, maybe they don't. There's
Yeah.
no. Whereas in WoW and also in Final Fantasy 14, right, people absolutely know that there will be another expansion. That's not a question, right? We
Yeah.
know this,
Is there a
and
Guild Wars 2 expansion coming out? Because they have Heart of Thorns and they
yes,
have the. What's the other one called? Heart of Thorns and
Path of Fire, and
Path of
now
Fire.
they are working on the
Oh,
expansion
Cancer?
called End of Dragons.
Oh,
Yeah,
End of
yeah, it's going to be Kenta,
Dragons. Oh,
and that is going to be in Kenta.
interesting.
Well, Guild Wars 2 has
Hmm.
had quite the rough years, a few years, right? Like with all the
Yeah.
layoffs, you may have heard of that,
I did hear about that. Yeah. I saw
and
you
there was a
tweeting
lot
about that
of.
when it was happening.
Oh yeah, well that was definitely a really rough time for them, and really unfortunate. And I mean, in a way, um, without like I don't want to sound mean or something, but in a way, I guess they must have brought it on themselves in a way, right? Like
Why
they
was there the
apparently had a lot of.
layoffs?
Well, apparently they had been working on alternate titles to Guild Wars 2 for quite a while. And apparently those never managed to ship and something always happened. Apparently, I don't know, these are just rumors and we don't know exactly, but apparently they've been working on a bunch of different titles and none of them ever went to the stage where they were shippable. So they had like a lot of um
Like
probably like a
unfinished.
third of their capacity was always working on different games than Guild Wars 2.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
without ever getting anything out of it, right?
Yeah.
And if you think about like a big gaming development studio for years using a third of their capacity to work on titles that don't ship, that apparently um, like just exploded at some point, and their and NC Soft, their what's it called again? Not their publisher. It's what is it? I'm not sure again what it's called. But it's like basically the company that they that kind of funds them and
Like their funding company, the one that gives them the money.
yeah, it's
Yeah. I know what's called. It's not NC Soft.
they at some point they said this is getting so
ArenaNet? Is
on.
that who you're thinking of? Ain't it?
Yeah, and yeah, they're owned by. They're not owned by, right? But they're. What's the word, dude? What is the word?
Developers, publishers.
No, publishers probably, right? Yeah, yeah. ANET is the development studio, and CSoft is basically their publisher, I guess, right?
Okay,
For
yeah.
lack of a better, there is a better word, but I can't think of it right now because I'm stupid.
That's
But
all good. I mean, you only
basically,
had
and
3 hours
CSoft
sleep.
and yeah, in my defense, that is true, yeah. And CSoft basically decided that it's getting so um uneconomical, right?
Yeah.
Um, that they have to do something, and they step in and they basically they pull the brakes because um, you are now um, they're basically saying you guys are getting too uneconomical. We've lost too much money. We're pulling the brakes on this, and they basically force ArenaNet
To fire other people.
to 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 basically save all that money they've been losing them in a way, right?
Yeah.
And ArenaNet overnight almost got forced to lay off almost a third of their staff,
So I
which
remember
was
it was a lot of
devastating.
staff that left, and there wasn't there like one of there was a staff member, if I remember correctly, because I don't know much about it, that the community knew this staff member, and she got laid off. I think was there a staff member that was very
Oh,
popular?
are you thinking of Jessica Price
That name
or
does sound familiar, but I think it was another one.
okay, no, that was because that was a wholly different story. That was
Oh, okay, I'm getting my
that's
stories
like
all
a big
confused.
drama. Um, I mean, yeah, many devs left, right? Super many,
Yeah,
like a lot of iconic devs as well, right? Left,
yeah.
or were left rather, right? A lot of them didn't get a choice.
Well, I guess they have a
Apparently,
budget, and
the
if they're
way
not
they,
making money back, then they've got to lay off staff because a company in the end has to make money to keep the staff there. Otherwise, they're going into
yeah,
debt.
I mean, they've basically apparently mismanaged projects to the point where it became so uneconomical that even NCSoft would step in, right? Which is
Yeah,
crazy, right? That's kind of unheard of. You don't really, you know, um,
it's sad because the
don't
whole
really
like
hear
lore
that
behind
a
Guild
lot.
Wars 2 is like amazing. Like I'm not a big lore person, but I really enjoy the story behind Guild Wars 2. So the fact that there's like very little content that comes out kind of lets the game down because it is a really good game. So then to know that like so many people got laid off because other stuff
And
wasn't making them
that
money kind of
also,
sucks because they could have been making more content for Guild Wars.
yeah, exactly. That was actually a big flashback at the
Yeah.
time from the community. On the one side, we hear this horrible stuff happening, right? And of course, everybody is just sad for the company because we see names leave the company that we care about, and
Yeah.
if you're like at a certain point of investment in a game, right, like you get to the point where you may actually know some of their developers, right, or like you don't
Yeah.
know them in person, but like
You know
oh,
their
this guy's
names.
from
Yeah.
like yeah, like Josh Foreman in Guild Wars 2 was like a really influential artist. He's the guy that designed the Super Adventure Box, right?
Yeah,
um,
that's
and
amazing.
if you ever heard the story of that, the Super Adventure Box came into existence because one dev almost on his own, designed the entire zone, had the whole idea, got it through, and it became like one of the most iconic things in the game, right?
Yeah.
Um, and he got laid off, right? And like you hear about this, like this iconic dev that added something to the game that is so huge, right?
Mm.
And it just feels like it just feels really like a gut punch, right? It
I
feels
wish
like um,
like Super Adventure Box would be amazing if it came like a standalone game. Just this
right,
mini
yeah,
standalone game. It would be
kinda.
amazing. It was such a fun little thing that came
It
out.
is really fun, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but then at the
that
same time,
sucks.
right? You're like really sad for them, but at the same time, you're like, well, okay, there you go. We've
Yeah.
been complaining about no content for ages. Now we know why, because you've been working on
On other
secret mobile
stuff.
games,
Yeah.
and then you weren't even able to ship it either, right? It's like we've been complaining so long about no content, and now we finally understand why, right? Because you actually haven't been working on the game that we are playing, right?
And then you just get
So
frustrated
a
because
lot
it's
of
like you're not even
people,
listening to us and you're not telling us
yeah, and a lot of
anything. And
people were really
yeah.
unhappy with that, right? Like,
Because
there's a lot of
I was from Guild Wars 1, and I remember when they were telling like talking about a Guild Wars 2, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then finally there was like a release date for Guild Wars 2, and they had like all the betas and the alpha and everything. You could sign up and get like special access. And I remember there was like a 3 day beta testing thing, and me and my mates, I took time off work, and we literally stayed up for like the whole 3 days straight. I think I could have slept maybe like 5 hours over the 3 days and just played Guild Wars 2. And this was like, 6 months or so before it was even launched. And just like how hyped I was for Guild Wars 2. And every time there's a beta, I did the same thing. Took time off work, none of us
oh,
slept,
I bet, yeah.
and just played. And then we had like 3 days early access as well. And you just play and play and play. And then you get to the point now, and it's like, I had so much love for that game, and now I haven't opened it in like a year.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like, it's just
it's
heartbreaking.
kind of a sad story in a
It's such
way.
like a soft spot in your
It's
heart. It's like, I love the game so much.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's really a place where a lot of the very harsh criticism for the game is coming from, right? It's a lot of just
Yeah.
people that are just genuinely disappointed and sad, right? Because it's such an iconic title that so many people fell in love with, and then it gets to a point where you just feel like it's being misdirected all the time,
Yeah.
and just lots of bad decisions are being made, and you kind of lose. And arena, like I don't know, like until I don't even know how to say this without sounding horrible, right? But like ArenaNet was a company that I used to be able to really relate to, that it used to be like a it's different than Blizzard, right? That's just like the
Yeah.
big nasty company, right? Like every time I think about Blizzard and the stuff they do, I just feel appalled, right? Like it's to the point where I'd
Blizzard's
almost
pretty
not
shocking.
want to. Well, I mean, if you hear about like the way they treat employees, or like
Yeah.
the whole China stuff, right? It's just
Yeah.
they do so much really horrible corporate shit that just makes you think, wow, what a horrible development studio. And like this is so distant and corporate.
Yeah.
And ArenaNet never felt like that, right? ArenaNet felt more homely.
But more like
It felt
family to
more,
each other as
yeah,
well.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
And I always felt like on a certain level I could relate to that, right? And
And especially with a lot of you
like
partners as well, the ANET partners, they treated you quite decently.
yeah,
So
I
just,
mean that really gets a bit overrated maybe. It's not like, you were part of the like they are very nice about it, like they'll send you holiday letters and stuff, which is nice. But then again, most community creator partner programs have,
yeah, fair enough.
you know, will send you posts. But it certainly changed like when when before the layoffs and before NCSoft stepped in and actually took over a lot of their departments as well. Like a lot of their um, um, community departments, I think, got taken over by NCSoft, and they actually
Mm.
shuffled a lot of, like, they put a lot of their people in. Before all that happened, you'd get like very personal handwritten cards from the community managers with like signatures
Aww.
and stuff, and now you kind of get like a. I
Generic.
still receive them actually. I still got a Christmas card, even though I'm not partner
Oh,
anymore.
really?
They must have forgotten to take me off the list or something.
That's really
But
cool.
now it's mostly just pre-printed cards without even a signature, right? So it's definitely
Aww.
lost
Yeah,
some of
lost
its
this little
personal touch.
touch.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like before the layoffs, I felt like you could really like relate to this company, and now it really does feel like they've gotten taken over by corporate NCSoft,
Yeah.
and
Oh well.
and it's less about their creativity and making a beautiful game for their community, and it's more about make money.
Yeah. Be interested to see what happens with it.
Yeah, well, everybody's just hoping the best for the expansion. They're certainly
Mm.
kind of in they're in maintenance right now until the expansion. They're trying to
Yeah.
put out content, but it's like kind of disappointing left and right. So everybody's just holding on for their dear life in that game, hoping that the expansion will solve a lot of problems,
We'll
which it won't, right?
reinvigorate it. Bring it back a bit.
Uh, yeah,
I'll
well,
probably
we'll
get
see.
it just to have it. I'll
I don't
probably
want to
play
rant
it.
too much about the game, right? I
No.
don't, because I don't think that, unfortunately, I think that's a genuine, general feeling in the communities that the people are not super hopeful that the expansion will actually fix the long-term issues. Feels, everybody
It'll
kind
just
of
be a
expects a
burst
bit of
again.
content. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like Path of Fire. It will be something to do for like 2 weeks, and then people will run
Yeah.
out of
Fade
content,
away.
and all of the lasting issues will kind of come back.
So you actually moved over to Final Fantasy, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you
I
still
started
playing that?
playing. Yeah, it's quite actively actually.
Yeah.
I still play that. Well, if you're an active raider, right? If you engage in raiding content, then Final Fantasy and WoW really are the games to go, right? It's quite different.
How do you find the rating in that compared to Guild Wars 2 rating?
It's very different actually. It's two
Yeah.
very, very different games in terms of how they're designed.
It's Final Fantasy
One
14,
has,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
14.
Yeah.
Um, it's there. How to explain it even? Like one is much more centered around reactions and a boss being um kind of alive in a way, like a boss being has a certain measure of unpredictability in Guild Wars 2,
Yeah.
right? You'll have like a lot of like layered mechanics, and they will like something will maybe refresh every couple of seconds, but um the bosses aren't very scripted, right? Like the bosses will do certain attacks and they'll have certain cooldowns, and then they'll face when you get
Yeah.
them to certain HP thresholds, and all of that kind of changes how the boss will kind of interact, right? Um, but in Final Fantasy, it's 100% scripted. A boss
Oh,
is
wow.
100% scripted. He will always do the same attacks at the same time. You can have literally
Oh.
have a timeline of the boss when he will do what mechanic and what thing, right? But in return, every mechanic is a lot more fine-tuned. Every mechanic is
Okay.
um a lot more detailed. It's like a well-oiled engine, right?
Yeah.
And every mechanic has like a very specific way to deal with it that requires very precise movement,
So does that make it harder or
So,
easier, do you think?
well, if you look at the just it's difficult to to measure really, right? I
Mm.
think Guild Wars 2 definitely is the overall easier game, right? If you just count mechanics, if you literally just sat down and counted mechanics, the average Guild Wars 2 boss has maybe 7, 8 mechanics, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's like the first 20 seconds of a Final Fantasy boss sometimes, like,
Oh,
and
really?
it's just, it's way more mechanical, a lot more mechanical. And
Has that
also, Final
has
Fantasy has, no, go ahead, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, does Final Fantasy have a subscription?
It does, yeah, it
Yep.
does.
Okay.
I think that's, honestly, I think games need a subscription fee, MMOs. I much prefer it. I
Why?
know a lot of people will disagree,
I
but I
disagree.
think a good MMO just can't live without a subscription fee. Like you can't, they can provide the amount of content without that income. Like
So do
you
you
can see that
is
Final Fantasy has a lot more influx of content,
is there
right,
so you know in
compared to
Guild
like
Wars 2 how there's a store, how they always have like how it's freaking pay to what do they call it? Fashion Wars. You know how Guild Wars is all
yeah,
Fashion Wars, they make their money that way. Is there anything
the
like that
gem
in Final
store, you mean?
Fantasy or they
Yeah.
don't have all that
Yeah.
money stuff because of the subscription?
That does exist, yeah, but it's a
Okay.
lot less. It doesn't see in a game like it was 2 that gets most of its income from that.
Yeah.
Um, you see that it impacts their design decisions, right? Like you see when they make mounts, um, they make them because they can sell mount skins, right?
Yeah.
There's no other way of obtaining mount skins in the game. In Final Fantasy, because of the subscription fee, the majority of mount skins will be an in-game reward, and then there will be like maybe a few that you can buy from the store,
Yeah. Right.
but you don't have to, right? Because you
Yeah.
have so many in-game, because the vast majority of mounts is in the game, and the
Yeah.
most prestigious mounts will be from special content, you know. But in Guild Wars 2, there's nothing like this. In Guild Wars 2, every skin that you get from the gem store. Every
Yeah.
Even though the game is very much like the very few end game rewards that you get are basically skins
Yeah.
um, that just get trashed and put to shame by their gem store equivalents, right? Like they've put skins in the gem stores that look like legendaries or better than legendaries, and
Mm.
well, yeah, you know, and if you, I don't know if you've heard of the whole build template story in Guild Wars 2, um,
I know there
but
is
I
a build
think that's
template, but I
a
don't know much about it.
So you know how build templates has always been a thing that's been heavily requested because it's been in
Yes.
Guild Wars 1 and
Yes, and it
people
was
always wanted it
amazing
in
in
Guild
Guild
Wars
Wars
2.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, right? It was an amazing system in Guild Wars 1.
Yeah.
And they, well, finally, right, brought out build templates, but
Yeah.
they like super monetized it. So they would give you, per character, they would give you 2 gear loadouts. Um, and then they would give you trait loadouts, right? And they
Yeah.
would give you like another kind of loadout, but every loadout like was separate and they sold separate ones on the gem store, right? So you'd have 2 built gear loadout templates that you could equip, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could get a maximum of 6, and then each additional one to the 2 would cost you 800 gems, right?
Really?
And if you think about like me, a raider, if I played on a class, I played at least 7 builds on a class. Okay,
Yeah.
like there were classes that I built, that the whole game is like built around the system that every class can be played in so many ways, right? So if
Yeah.
I wanted to play a druid and I wanted to swap from power druid to condi druid to power soul beast to a condi soul beast to a full heal druid, you know, that's 5 builds already. So just to be able to swap between those 5 builds, I'd have to buy 3 loadouts templates. So
That's
I'd have to pay
ridiculous.
2,400 gems just for the gear templates, and then I would have to get another templates loadouts for the traits. Those were separate, right? So I would also just get 2 traits loadouts for free, and then I'd have to buy trait loadouts, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get like one single character fully fleshed out with like all of the available build templates, you'd spend like 5,000, 6,000 gems on them or something, right?
That's
Per
so dumb.
character, right? And you can imagine the lashback that got,
Yeah, definitely.
and that's what I mean, right? This was like a very important feature that came to the game, but it was
Yeah.
designed with monetization in mind, and that's what every game that doesn't have a sub fee has to do that to some extent, right? They are always forced to like to to um
That's
to
fair enough.
somehow factor in monetization because they don't have that subscription fee to fall back on,
Because they've
right?
got to make
And
money
it's just
somehow.
exactly, and I
Mm.
think it negatively impacts these games to like a degree where I think they become a lot less fun.
Yeah.
And then you still don't get as much content as a game with a subscription fee, you know. Then you still don't get the same amount. So I'm really happy to pay $10, but then I will really get something out of my game. Whereas in Guild Wars 2, I didn't pay those $10, and I always kind of, I would have much rather paid $10 a month and
Yeah.
gotten my regular raid releases and have some in-game rewards to play for.
Wonder how much
Um,
money I've spent on Guild Wars for gems wise instead of paying the
yeah, I
subscription.
mean, likely a lot. I think. I think
Probably.
it's like the whole free to play model, right, is built around
Yeah.
microtransactions, and if it wasn't profitable, people wouldn't do it.
Now I heard And then I heard again that Guild Wars 2 was going to go to Steam, and that got canned. Did you ever hear
Yeah,
that?
yeah, true. Yeah, they meant to release on Steam last year, end of last year. I think it was
Yeah.
like around October, November that they were meant to release on Steam, but then they didn't.
Do you think that would be to try
Um,
and boost like numbers?
yeah, absolutely. I think Steam releases are in a way almost a last resort for some games.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of
Um,
thinking. Like, if Guild Wars 2 has to resort to Steam, then obviously it's not going very well. And then I was
and in
like,
a
will it
way,
even boost numbers? Do you think it would if it went to Steam?
I do think it would, but I
Yeah,
do think it's a bit of a it's like a big chance to launch on Steam.
yeah,
And also to put into perspective, most MMOs do launch on Steam. You can buy Final Fantasy 14 on Steam, you can get ESO on Steam, you can get BDO on Steam, right? All of these
that's true.
big contenders in the MMO
You can't
industry
get
are
WoW on
already
Steam
on
though.
Steam.
Oh wait, can you?
No,
No,
WoW,
I
I
didn't
think,
think.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
WoW don't launch.
Yeah,
WoW also just kind of acts on a different level, right? If you look at Blizzard and the
yeah.
amount of money they have, in a way, right? They have a whole different level of resources. Um,
It's crazy.
but yeah, so in a way, it's not like a big, terrible thing that shows how desperate they are. In a way, because
Yeah,
other games are there as well, and it's just a good platform to find new players. But it is definitely um,
a last
there's
resort.
definitely a reason to the push, right? There's
Yeah,
definitely
that's a
yeah.
shame. Oh,
But they've
good
kind
old
of been
Guild Wars
holding off, and
2.
they've gone kind of back on it.
What if they will go to Steam eventually? I'd be curious.
They definitely will, but they might just want to do it tactically, right? Because that's a big chance for them to get a big hype around the game for a while. That's like a big
Yeah,
the game will be more in the public eye when it launches on Steam for a while, and the early reviews and stuff on Steam will make a big difference to how the game is received on Steam, and
yeah,
it can kind of go both ways, right? If a lot of people give negative reviews when they ship it on Steam, um, that could very lastingly influence how successful they are on the platform. And if they basically ship it at a time where the game is kind of at its weakest, and a lot of people give negative reviews or not great reviews, then you can really kind of shoot yourself in the knee with that.
yeah. So it'd be smart to go when the new expansion comes out.
Probably, or maybe
Yeah,
just when the general mood is a bit better,
yeah.
or
So a
I
question
don't
in
know exactly what they're
chat.
waiting for.
I don't know when this will ever happen, especially in the UK. But are you looking forward to real life conventions again? Did you ever go to any gaming
Yeah,
conventions?
not super many, but I did. Yeah, I did go to Gamescom
Oh yeah,
2 years in a row, I guess. The two and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it because it's such a great place to like meet community.
yeah.
Not because I generally like games conventions. They actually kind of bore me, and I
Oh
just think
really?
they're like crowded places. Yeah, just go around. You don't actually get to play anything. You just stand in lines, and it's crowded. And I don't like crowded places, right?
Come
I'm
to
a bit social
Australia's
awkward
one
about that.
then. God, at PAX you get to play all the games. I mean, there's
Oh
people and
yeah.
there's lines, but you still get to
The
play
thing is
games.
also the majority of games just don't interest me. When I was there, I
Yeah,
was
no, I
just like
understand that one.
this.
I
I'm
get
just
that.
this mono MMO gamer, and I don't really give a shit about other games, right? Like, so I'll
Yep,
stand there and I'll be like, okay, I guess I'll look because I'm in here, I may as well,
yep.
But I go in there because I want to see people from my chat. I want to see people from the Guild Wars 2 community mostly,
Yeah.
right?
Would you
And
ever go to TwitchCon EU, UK, EU, if TwitchCon comes back?
yeah, yeah. If it wasn't fucking expensive,
Yeah.
if it was, isn't it like 100 euros per ticket or something plus accommodations? It's like
I have no idea how much it is. I know I was looking. Okay, I didn't look very much. It was more like a thought process. I wanted to go to TwitchCon EU. God, that's so weird to get out of my mouth right now. Yeah, I want to go to the one in Amsterdam. But
mhm.
that's as far as I looked into it. It was more like I wanted to go. And then COVID
the
hit. And I was
the
like, well, not going now.
There would
Yeah.
be two reasons for me to go, right? And one is if friends of mine went,
Yeah.
because I think conventions are just an excuse to meet people. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, because people online, they don't like to say, hey, let's just meet up someday and have like a random, party or something.
I mean, I
That
did. We
will,
had a bowling meetup the other weekend.
oh, really?
Yeah, we
Oh,
all
that
went
is
bowling
awesome.
in
That's awesome
Sydney.
that that works, right? But
Yeah.
so many times, like, it's like these conventions are just your excuse to go to that common place, right? To that
Yeah.
common
Yeah.
event and meet a lot of people. Um,
It was cool.
so if a lot of people that I know would say, "Yeah, we're also going," then that would be a reason for me to go.
Well, when I
Either
can
that
fly
or
overseas and when I go, then you can go.
yeah,
There you go.
sure, yeah. I mean, let's go. Let's go to Amsterdam after the whole Rona thing is over, right?
Yep. Deal.
Um, either that or if I started to take streaming a lot more serious again and I wanted to actually network. I think that's the second big
Yeah.
reason is at gaming conventions you have the opportunity to network with people in the industry and with other streamers as well.
I suck at networking. That's my biggest downfall. Networking's
But you're
hard.
doing a lot of, aren't you doing a lot of, um, 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 I mean, you're doing these podcasts, right, with a lot of streamers, I
Yeah.
believe. And I think I've seen you on Twitter networking with other streamers and like joining stream teams and
No. No, I've stopped.
okay.
Yeah. I haven't been a part of a stream team for a long time. I gave up on stream teams. I think stream teams are stupid.
How so? How so?
I just think they're like I think they're a crock of shit.
That is
All
quite a strong opinion. Okay.
yes, all they want is numbers. So I was a part of an Australian one, which was great. I went in there with like rose-colored glasses on, going, yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna meet so many amazing people, and they did nothing as a community. Nothing at all.
Hmm.
No one really wanted
Yeah,
to play
that sucks.
games. They're all like they're all nice. They all like would chat in Discord and stuff. Like they're all friendly to each other, but no one really wanted to like co-stream or anything. And I just found
Hmm.
that it just kept getting more and more people in, and it's like, why do you guys keep adding people to the stream team when no one really collaborates anyway?
I see. Well, those kind of stream teams are just there for the auto hosts, kind of, right?
Yeah. And I found that's what like most of mine that I've been a part of are like. I haven't really found a nice little friend one.
I
So,
see.
and
Yeah.
I found that I was like not losing friends, but I wasn't rating the people that I like. So I was too focused on trying to rate people from the stream team and not getting anything in
I see.
return. So I wasn't rating like my friend Ghost who I'd like to rate, or I wasn't rating like say you or anything. I was rating like people from the stream team. And I was
I
kind of like
see.
missing
Yeah.
out on. So I've stepped back from stream teams. COVID. Anyway, don't be sick on me, Roca.
Oh no, no, no! Oh God, sorry. Oh, did I just dare cough? Oh no. Oh, sorry. See, guys, that's why I'm wearing the
That's why
mask.
I got the
Because
mask
I
on.
can't. Yeah, exactly.
I've stepped back from stream teams and I just focused more on raiding people that I wanted to raid, who I think are more like me, where my community would be like more
Mm-hmm.
comfortable around.
I respect that. I respect
Yeah.
that a lot. When you can kind of say, "Hey, this like I'm making this decision because it's the right decision for my channel and my community, and not just um I'm hoping to push numbers by you know by
Yeah.
hosting people that are I don't know in a team that I don't actually interact with."
Yeah, so I'm very
Absolutely.
picky on who I raid. Because I want my viewers to obviously like the person that I raid. I don't want to just raid someone, just be like, oh, hey, they're a part of my stream team, let's go raid them. And we all go there and we're like, well,
Yeah.
this is stupid. And then everyone leaves
And these
because they
exactly these rates
suck.
are kind of wasted in the first place, right? Because
Yeah.
people will just leave, right?
Instead of going to someone that I think has a good community, like we met this guy IRL Larry, who my community now freaking love. Larry's a puppet and he's fucking
Uh-huh.
amazing. So when I can, I raid him, and I find that a lot of people stay there in his channel, which is a really cool thing to do. So having the opportunity
Hmm.
to raid him instead of someone from the stream team is nice because I don't know, I've introduced them to a cool person who I quite like.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, there
true.
we go. Chat right now. Larry is awesome. Yeah. So it was a choice that I made for myself and for the community, pretty much.
It's a good
Yeah.
choice. I think that's very
Yeah.
respectable, and I can
Yes.
really understand that. I
So
guess I've had I mean, since I was basically just mono game streaming, right? Like other Guild Wars 2 content creators were just
yeah.
it just worked out that we made a stream team, right? Like the Mighty Teapot did the delusional elitist stream team.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's easy to raid people when you play like you're a main player. So when I was on Guild Wars 2, it was just so easy to raid another Guild Wars 2 person, and you knew the community would stay there anyway because you're all there for that game. But being a
exactly.
variety streamer, it's really hard to know who to raid or to try and like network with
Absolutely.
people. Yeah,
Variety is so much more difficult in so
it
many ways.
is. It really is. So I do
It's
miss
like
that side
that.
of it for Guild Wars 2.
It's like this dream job that's at like that comes with so much hard work to get to the point, where it's
Sorry, I'm gonna
like
interrupt you.
every mono game streamer dreams of a life where they can just stream another game and retain the same viewer counts, right? That's
Oh,
like the
yes. It'd be amazing. Like, you would, like, we
right.
both had so many people. Okay, you obviously had way more than I did, but we still had a
But
lot
it's
of people
just
on
in Guild
Guild
Wars
Wars
2.
2. And
It's
as soon as
only
both
in
of
Guild
us
Wars 2.
leave Guild Wars 2, we,
Yeah.
like, lose half our
Like I'd stream
community.
Guild Wars 2 and I'd have like 150 viewers, and then I'd change the same stream to like play something because I'm just fucking annoyed of Guild Wars 2 after playing it so much.
Yeah.
Like I just want to play something else, and you just see the viewer count plummet to like 30,
Yeah, like,
and you're like, all right, okay, you guys hate me. You're just here for my game.
you're just here for Guild Wars 2, that was it. I know, I was saying, like, getting, like, 60 to 80 people, and then they go to, like, PUBG and it goes 10. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
bye, everyone. So Shay in my chat is like, can Roka say the name of his stream team 3 times fast?
No, I
No.
can't.
It's
Sorry. I'm sorry
delusional.
to let you down,
What is it
but
again? Delusional elitists?
delusional elitists.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have to try really, really hard to like, say the
Pronounce it.
delusional elitist. Delusional elitist. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's a hard word, okay? Like it's English is my second language, guys. Don't push me, all right?
Yeah. So Roka is German and speaks fluent German, obviously. Yeah.
Hallo, Bratwurst, Sauerkraut, Kartoffel.
Yeah, Gesundheit.
Just to,
That's all I
flex
know.
my German skills a little bit.
Oh my goodness. We have a few Germans in here actually. We have Schwamwei. He's German. Oh, there he is. He's in chat now. Actually, I think he's my only German in my chat now. Yeah.
Hello.
Did he just say hello sausage? I have no idea what he just said.
Maybe.
Did you
Who can
really?
tell, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know what
No,
you
I
said.
mean, I said the stereotypical words, right? I said that hello, bratwurst, sauerkraut.
Oh, okay.
Whatever people would expect a German to say. I mean, that's basically all we say anyway. Like, that's every second word tends to be sauerkraut or bratwurst. That's just a fact.
I don't really hear many Germans speak, except for Guten Morgen.
Well,
That's it.
very polite if they say that, I guess.
That's just good morning, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
I see you've picked up some German when you were here. I'm glad to see that some of
Yeah.
it stuck around.
That was pretty much all I picked up, actually.
So that how fucking sorry, how
That's okay.
freaking amazing was it that like the weekend that you're here in Germany in the city, there's actually like a beer fest going on.
I
Like,
know.
the most stereotypical German thing probably.
Yeah.
Like just a random beer festival happening.
Yeah. So I went to Germany, guys, like 2018? 17? 18? Don't know. I went to Germany one year.
Oh, dude, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
It's so long. How time flies so fast.
I
Oh no.
know. And I actually met Roca and in Germany, obviously, and he took me to a beer festival. And I don't drink beer, but I still drank beer because it was a beer festival. And what else do you do? Like, it's Germany, you got to drink beer. Um,
Exactly. Like, why the
yeah,
frick do you come here? I think that's
it was so much fun. I really like Germany. Like, people are like,
and
"What
it's
was your favorite
literally once
place?"
a
And
it's
people,
literally once a year. It's once a year. There's like a beer festival in my
no, isn't
city,
there like
right? And you
Oktoberfest?
literally it wasn't Oktoberfest
No,
actually,
but isn't
right? It
like
was
so there'd be more than one festival if there's like Oktoberfest, and then
oh,
there's one that we went
actually
to.
true. There is mm, yeah, true. Oktoberfest does count as a beer themed festival, I guess. That
What's
is true.
Oktoberfest if it's not beer themed?
Hmm? Say again?
What's Oktoberfest if it's not beer themed?
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is beer themed.
Oh, I was like,
100%. I did, yeah, no, Oktoberfest, that's true. That is an additional one. But this was like a city-wide one, right? A city-specific one. It
oh, fair
wasn't like a
enough.
national,
Yeah,
huge event. It's just like once a year they do a beer market, basically, where all the breweries would come around. Oktoberfest is much more about like that one type of beer that's like from Bavaria because it's like a Bavarian festival.
oh really?
And so people will like drink a certain type of beer, I guess. And this one was more like all the different breweries from all over the place come together, and you can have like a lot of variety. That
Yeah,
was more the purpose of this one.
there was a lot of different types of beer. Um, I didn't get very drunk at all, chat, and I had no hangover. I didn't drink that much beer, and they're only small glasses as well that they give you. Um, Schwamwei, who's from Germany, is saying, "Don't go to Oktoberfest. It's a scam."
It is a scam, yeah.
Oh, really?
It's super
Is it just like really
expensive.
expensive? Yeah.
It's incredibly expensive, yeah.
In Cologne, they have. I have no idea what that word is. A carnival, which is just drinking beer.
Oh yeah,
It's
carnival. Yeah.
a stupid costumes.
You know how in Brazil they have Mardi Gras? Like,
Yeah, we have
is
mine
it?
over here as well.
Yeah, that's basic. Mardi Gras is probably the best word for it, but we'd call it carnival or
Oh,
Fasching
okay.
in some places, and it's
Mm,
quite the local thing as well. Like Cologne is a big city. That's where Gamescom is, by the way. It's
I
one
went
of the
to
biggest
Cologne.
cities in Germany,
I went there.
and they have a very big carnival history in a way, right? Like it's like a very big. It's very big in that city, much bigger even than in other cities, right?
Yeah.
It's big in other cities as well, and everybody will kind of take the Mardi Gras as an excuse to
Yeah,
get fucked
wasted.
up and drunk.
Yeah.
But it's especially big in Cologne, and actually the city that I'm from is also it's not quite as big as Cologne in terms of carnival, but it's probably the second in command when it comes to carnivals in Germany.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, people go nuts.
Oh,
It's like
interesting.
it's like these 2 days a year where this entire city is just dressed up in costumes, and all of the regular streets are shut down
Oh,
just
wow.
for uh, like parades and stuff. Right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I quite liked your city.
It is a nice city.
It
Yeah,
was nice.
I like it too.
People ask me
I'm glad you
where I
you
liked
liked it.
more, and I'm like, I don't know where I liked more. I can't decide between like Germany or Spain.
Oh,
Like I liked
Spain is
both
a
of them.
lovely place too.
It's almost like I kind of explain it like I could work in Germany, like I'd like to live in Germany and work there, and holiday in Spain.
Yeah,
And I'm like, that
yeah.
would be like the perfect like life.
Well, the
But
weather in Germany, of course, isn't really like when once you get to like Spain, Italy, and France, you have a little bit more uh, ambient, idyllic.
yeah, that's why I could holiday there and
Uh,
just live in Germany.
yeah,
I just don't
whereas
speak
Germany is
German.
more, it's a little bit more gray and in general, right? Like, gray,
Yeah.
rainy, kind of very industrial country in a way.
I
We do
like
have
Germany.
nice places though. There are some very idyllic places
I
here,
think
yeah,
it's
but
just so
not
different
as
to
much as.
Australia. Like you guys have, well, just Europe in general has so much history and everything. because it's a lot older than Australia. Everything's so like new
Yeah, yeah.
kind of
Yeah, in
thing.
comparison to like Australia and the United States, right? Where
Yeah,
history kind
exactly.
of, I mean, didn't really, right? Like they have history just as long as ours, right? Or like
Yeah.
at least close. It's just like that's kind of been overwritten when people settled there and kind of got rid of, the indigenous people in a way.
Yeah, but even
So
like
that's not really
you guys have like
like if you,
iconic landmarks. We have Uluru. That kind of thing. Like you guys have buildings that have been there for like
yeah,
thousands of
yeah, I
years.
guess, yeah.
We don't have
It's a
any
different
old
scale when
buildings.
it's like when you come to America and they're like, dude, let's go to our oldest landmarks. And look, can you imagine that this church is 200 years old? I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
200 years. Like go to a castle like literally around the corner from my village. There's just some random castle that's not even a landmark, and that's like 600 years old, right?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Um,
Yep.
but
I
I mean,
know.
even in North America, if you like, I don't know, they have like ancient civilization landmarks, right? Like if you have like an old Mayan temple or something, or that's even older, right?
Yeah.
So,
I
so
love
those do
Europe.
exist. It's just like they don't seem to really count under the. It's not the country's history in a way, right?
Yeah, I guess. So, what would be your favorite beer? Because I know you're a beer drinker.
Oh God.
Let's just throw you on the
Well,
spot.
I don't want to dox myself, right? But there is a beer brand that is named after the city I was born in,
Yeah.
so and produced there. So that's the obvious choice, right? And I'm not gonna say which one that is,
Damn it.
because then everybody would know where I'm from,
Fair
where
enough.
my family lives and stuff. So like it's you know,
Yeah.
not gonna go there, but it's not Foster's. No,
That was
it's
not Foster's chat. Say
um.
Foster's. Oh.
I don't even really particularly know Foster's. Why?
It's an Australian beer that people overseas like and Australians hate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. No, that's not it. No, I wasn't born in Foster's.
No.
It's not Paderborn either, but I think Paderborn is not too far. I
Ooh.
should not, I
Let's
shouldn't
just say no
know.
more.
I'll not dox myself, yeah.
Do you have
But
a favorite
I'm,
food?
I'm,
What were we going to say?
do I have a favorite food?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Shumway if he can, based on what I said earlier about the carnival stuff, if he can guess what city I live in,
Will
just out of
you say yes
curiosity,
or no
because
to if he gets it right
there's a
or
bit
not?
of there's a bit of competition between the two cities in terms of the whole Mardi Gras carnival thing.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, favorite food you ask?
Yeah.
Um, oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. What's my favorite food?
Not that you
I'm
can
a
go
very I'm a
out.
very
Not that you can go out at the
just the
moment. But is there
the fuck, guys. Does that even count? Like, no,
a
come
what?
on, guys. Serious guesses, please. Sorry, I'm just
Oh.
wanting to check.
Do you
um,
go out for any food? Not. No, I actually. You guys can't even go out for food yet, can you?
No, we're still in lockdown and have been for a while in that regard. Like you can pick up food and you can order food, but you can't go to a restaurant.
It's so bizarre because I kind of forget because I can just walk out of my house and go wherever I want. So before lockdown, was there any takeaway
Nice
you
flex.
enjoyed? I know. I'm sorry. Just to rub it in.
Well, I don't know, I'm a very pragmatic eater. I eat what's available in a way. I do like to cook for myself more than takeout,
Oh
although
yeah.
I do catch myself get lazy every now and then and order more food than I should. But
Do you have a particular
I don't
meal you
know.
like to cook?
Well, it's like when I cook a lot, when I have these periods when I cook a lot, I try to just go with a holy trinity of foods, right? Like one third carbs, one third protein, one third veggies, and I just kind of um mix. I eat a lot of rice, I guess, but not particularly because I just love rice, but because it's just very easy to make.
See,
Like,
do you know what I'm picking up on this conversation? I'm picking up that Roca is an alcoholic because he has a favorite beer, and he doesn't like food that much. He's got no favorite food.
I don't eat that. I don't drink that much beer, really.
Yeah,
I
you don't
rarely drink
really.
beer.
That's
Like,
true. You did actually years ago. Oh, it's not that long ago, like 2 years ago. You actually bought beer and you're doing, or was it wine? And you're doing like the beer testing on
oh,
stream.
right. I did. Yeah, I did do that. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
a beer tasting. I
that's the
did
one.
on
A beer
stream. Yeah,
tasting. That was
and
really cool.
that was because I got a Christmas present from my brother. That was like a six pack of like assorted special draft beers.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is like kind of something special. You don't really, I don't really sit at home and taste and do beer tastings for myself, right? Like that's not something I do on my own. That's
Yeah.
kind of like I think that's something I want to be social about and share that with people in a way. And I just thought, hey, might be a funny idea. It's not really like I can just invite a bunch of friends over and watch me drink my beer, right? Like and
I
have
was
a
gonna have
good
a beer
time.
and
I
you
was
guys
like,
get
hey,
none of it.
yeah, exactly, right? That wouldn't really make sense. And if I had like two of each, right, I would have invited a friend
Yeah.
and we, have them together. But this way, if there's only one per sort, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of dumb, right? So, um, yeah, so I did make a stream out of that where I tasted beer, which was a little bit Monka-esque, right? Because I wasn't so sure about like consuming alcohol on stream, so um,
Consuming alcohol on stream.
I really tried
What
to
do I
make
do
it
most of
about
my
the
streams?
Yeah, right, you do take the shots on stream and stuff.
All the time.
I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to be very careful about that. I was very, because to me that was kind of new waters. That was also the time where I did take streaming a lot more serious, and where of course I'm not sure if I was a ArenaNet partner at the time or if I
Yeah.
just wanted to become a ArenaNet partner at the time. And there's like a certain responsibility that you have as a streamer, right? If you're like, especially if you're maybe within your community, one of the biggest streamers at the time, and you have a certain viewership, right? Where you have to think about how responsible or irresponsible do I want to show myself, right? Like,
Yeah.
do I want to, for example, I was a smoker back then as well, and there was a long time where I was smoking on stream, and I've had people like come to me and be like, dude, you can't, like, why
I
do
don't
you smoke
remember
on
that at
stream? Like,
all.
that's such a bad example, right? And at the time, I was very much like, well, I don't really give a shit. But at some point, I realized, no, there is something to that, right? I can't show like horrible habits in a way on stream, that if there's even just one kid out there watching that's maybe recover, or like one guy that's just stopped smoking and because of watching me is thinking about cigarettes, then that's already kind of shitty, right?
Yeah,
um
wow. I had no idea you
and
smoked. I don't think I knew you when you smoked on stream.
yeah, well, I actually just I quit like 2 years ago, and now I can relate to that in a different way, like I
Wow.
can, because I watch movies. And when
I
a
watch
movie
movies. I
will
watch
have a lot
movies
of
too. No, I'm
smoking in
sorry.
it, well, yeah, but no, but if I watch a movie and it has a lot of smoking in it, it makes me remember smoking, right? And when you've quit smoking, a big part of that is just not thinking about it,
Yeah.
um, like don't have that temptation, and then you won't fall back into it, right? So I feel like, um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was something to it, but I don't know. I think I mean, I didn't have that stream and promote like, "Hey guys, just get drunk all the time. It's the best." Oh yeah, dude. Like
Yeah.
fuck university. Just get drunk, dude. No, that's of course not what I did, but that was a worry of mine. I've always been a little bit hesitant when it comes to like alcohol on stream, because I always felt like, um, I don't want to be about that too much, right? So I just
Yeah, I
had
get where you're
like the
coming from.
tasting aspect was very
Yeah.
much in the foreground on that. I tried to be very much about, like I'd have a little sip and I'd be like, yeah, oh, this has notes of strawberry with a little bit of a nutty aftertaste, and I tried to be very pretentious about it. I think I even
Yeah.
wore like a shirt and like a beanie or something, just so I'd look all hipster about it. And, yeah.
Yep.
I'm a
I'm a
drunk
drunk and
non-alcoholic.
alcoholic. Alcoholics have to go to meetings. Roca's a new stream title.
Yeah.
We have we have Friday night COD and drink streams. So that's literally promoting alcohol.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean, if it's fun
And
within
we
the
have the
community, right?
shots.
It's
Um,
it's cool, and I certainly don't mean to sound judgmental or anything, right? It's
no, I don't
just
think you're
that was a
judgmental at
concern I
all.
had at the time, right?
I do know that you can't like promote drinking, as in like you can't say that you're doing like subs for shots or bits for shots. Like in that sense, you can't do it.
hmm
So with me having the shot commands, that's like working around that because I'm not making any profit off it.
Yeah. I actually agree with that. I never
Yeah,
I never quite liked the I'll take a shot for money kind of thing.
yeah,
I saw a bunch of streamers do that, and I've never been a huge fan, right? And I know
yeah.
people didn't have like evil intent when they did it, right?
Oh,
And
of course
friends
not.
of mine, good friends of mine, have done that on stream, right? It's just
Yeah,
I've never really found it great. I would always like kind of look at it and be like, there's something about that I don't like,
yeah.
even though I can't really put my finger on it, and even though I know the person, and even though I know they're a great person, right? Um, there's still something about it that I can't quite fight
No,
for.
I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, the Friday night drinks for me was just like, hey, go to the pub on a. Okay, you don't. You're in COVID.
Well, I do remember the
Before
olden days
COVID, when you had
with
the opportunity to go to a pub on a Friday night with the boys to have a drink.
remember way back in the
Yeah, remember
day
back in the
when people
days
were still allowed to go outside.
when you could leave your house and not wear a mask. So I think that's
Way
where,
back.
yeah, I think that's where the Friday night drinks came from. It was like a chance for everyone to come online and play games together and have a drink. And
Yeah, yeah.
I know I had a drink last night. I didn't even finish it. I only drank like half my drink last night. Yeah, I woke up this morning. I'm like, oh, my rum's still sitting over there. Oh well, that was
Right.
doing.
Yeah, and I mean, if
Yeah,
I mean, there is a thing like drinking without not to just get drunk, right? Like
yeah,
just it's like I mean, you do get funny, right? Like I'd have the occasional stream without face cam where I just have a beer on the side, right? Like you
yeah,
know, not even talking about it, just I don't know because I like it, right?
yeah,
But yeah, if your goal isn't to be like self-destructive and just get fucked up, right? Then
yeah. It's definitely not the goal. It's just we all have a drink and unwind from the weekend and play COD.
yeah.
Or we're actually just playing anything, to be honest.
What do you play recently? What have been your like favorite? Well, you do a lot of variety, right? You play a lot of different games, but I
I
think you play
do.
mostly shooters, right?
Yeah, I play a lot of Call of Duty at the moment and a lot of Age of Empires. Two
So have you
completely
gotten
different games.
into? Yeah, they are quite different. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you
So
gonna say?
have you gotten? I see a good friend of mine. They've gotten into the zombie mod or something,
No.
and is it Battlefield or is it Call of
Oh.
Duty?
No, it's
I'm
Call of
totally
Duty.
out
There's
of it.
zombies in Call of Duty. There's a zombie mode. I don't like zombie
Yeah.
mode. I play the multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been getting really into it, and they've been playing like literally every night for the last few weeks. They've just been like shooting zombies for like 8 hours at a time. They got super into it.
I probably should try because I know like a lot of us getting bored of multi at the moment. Like apart from last night, I had probably hadn't played COD for like the last 3 weeks. We're playing a lot of Age of Empires, and I spent like the whole time playing Little Nightmares 2. Oh my god, that was such a good
Oh,
game.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good game. Yeah.
yeah. Have you played the first one of Little
No,
Nightmares?
but I've watched trailers of it,
Oh yeah.
and
I'm
gameplay trailers.
not gonna say anything about it just in case you play it.
Okay. Is it? But would you recommend it?
Oh
Would you say
yeah,
it's good?
100%. Yeah. Did you ever play Ori and the Blind Forest,
Oh
whatever it
yeah.
is? So
Yes, I
I
did.
would put those two on the same level as each other almost.
Really?
They're both very good gameplays.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good then, because Ori is definitely up there.
Ori's still above it, but I still put Little Nightmares up with a really good storyline. Not that I have any idea what the fucking story is, because I don't understand these stories in these type of games. But yeah, and
Okay.
and the second one has a very good twist. That's what I'm gonna
Okay.
say. Um,
So I
Yeah.
would say that Ori isn't necessarily the best story in the world. I
Oh, but
don't
it's
think
so
it actually has.
sad. It's such a good story. You're trying to like
Yeah, but it's
escape from
very
everywhere.
atmospheric, right? It's very emotional. It's very. I mean, what's the story of Ori? Like you can sum it up in a sentence, right?
Yeah, I've
Um,
forgotten.
you just talk about what is like, what are you do? Like, what is your goal, right? It's like you just.
You want to
I don't
like
know. That's,
uncap everything or something. The elements or
yeah,
something.
there's like a tree that like has does lights
Water
and like you want to kind of
stuff.
like and goes dark and you just kind of want to get that back running, right? But that's like the whole story. There's not really super much to that, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
guess.
but what it drives on the atmosphere, the art, the music, the emotion, you have that cute little character and everything it does is so
Yeah.
meaningful and
See, that's the
so
same as
even though the
Little
story,
Nightmare. You have like little six, and she's just really cute. I think it's a he, and I always call it a she. Anyway, she's just really cute. And you just want to
listen,
save her,
we
and
live
you
in
help
the
save her.
21st century, right? We can
Exactly.
call it whatever.
Getting Over It has the best story? No. No, chat. Just, I can't even watch that game without being triggered.
Yeah, it's difficult to
That
watch.
game,
But yeah, that's just the difference between, like it's not necessarily a story-driven game too much,
yeah, I
more as a
guess.
as an atmosphere-driven and emotionally charged game in a way, right? Because it's so beautiful and so well crafted.
So, the difference would be that one looks really beautiful, as in like the colors and all that. This one is
Mm,
beautiful because it's a different art style. It is a bit darker, as you've seen the
mhm.
trailers, but it's still
But
very
it
well
has like
put
its
together.
own, it has its own aesthetic, right? Like its own,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I didn't play much of the download content of the first one because by the time the download content came out, I had finished like the first one, like the original part of it, like a year or so before. So I was really confused on where it all fitted in together. But
Mm,
the new one that I played, I really enjoyed it. It's a puzzle game as well, obviously,
hmm.
to try and work out things. But they're easy enough to keep your attention without getting too bored of it as
Okay.
well. Oh yeah, Hollow Knight's a good one
Nice.
as well.
True, true. Seen a lot of gameplay of that.
Yeah, I gave up on that game. I
It's
got too
pretty
stuck.
difficult, isn't it?
It's
It's actually
really
pretty
hard. I got
difficult.
so stuck on it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna go back to it, and I went back, and I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
I should play that sometime. I'm not a huge platformer player, but I do enjoy these kind of games
Hey,
occasionally.
until PUBG, I was solely Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1. Until PUBG, I never played really any other game, like aside from like the odd Age of Empires and
Yeah,
something.
true. You made like the big twist, right? Like you went from being all about MMOs, right, to all about like shooters.
Yeah, I just got so like burnt out and crap and everything on Guild Wars 2 because I was just only Guild Wars 2, that was it. I'd play Guild
Mm,
Wars 1 and 2
yeah,
for like 10, 12 years and nothing else.
yeah.
And all of a sudden PUBG came out and then I played like freaking every battle royale that came out and now I'm on COD and I did some shout casting for COD and oh my god.
Oh, you do shoutcasting?
I did, yeah. There was a tournament. I did shoutcasting
Damn.
for like a month and so. Yeah.
Nice. I didn't even know
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, it was really good. It was so much fun. I actually really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
So I was playing with
Yeah,
us.
shoutcasting is fun,
Yeah, I did it for some of the
actually.
top Australian teams. Um, got to hang out with some
Yeah,
top
nice.
players
Well, go
and
Australia.
yeah, woo. It was pretty cool. It was a good experience. I learned so much about the game as well, like just learning how they do their own call outs within like the pro teams and
Mm,
just how to even make call outs about a game because I was like I've never like, you know, called out a game before. I was like I don't know what people are doing. Yeah. So that was a huge learning curve.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, watching pros like play a game that you play a lot, right? It's
Yeah.
always a bit of an epiphany, right?
And I never watched anyone else play COD except for myself. So it was really different. Yeah.
And the competitive like shooters, right? Like they're very competitive, right? They're like
Yeah, they
super
are.
competitive.
Yeah. But it was really
I
cool to
remember
see
I used to
like
play a little bit.
oh, I was gonna say like it was really cool to see like the amount of shit talking they'd give each other like in the lobbies. But then like how friendly they were to each other like in game, like how supportive each other they were, but then
Mm,
they could just shit talk. I just thought it was like really cool. I'm like, that's just so
nice.
Australian.
That is funny.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember I played a little bit of CS 1.6, right, in
Oh yeah.
way back in the day before I streamed, right, and never professional, right, but like we'd have like our gaming clan back then, right, like back when people still had gaming clans
Gaming
for,
clan.
people would
Yeah.
meet in forums and
I don't
I
even know
remember
about that stuff.
just how competitive people were, right,
Yeah.
like super competitive, like where you'd like everything would be super silent so that you could hear people moving at behind walls, like
Yeah.
so that you could tell what direction a player would come from, and then like have that perfect. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
It's pretty cool. It's so different.
Yeah, but I've never been that good at shooters, and ever since I started like MMOs, I've never been really able to get into shooters.
I'm shocking at shooters. I think
Maybe
the
it's just
thing
because
that
I stuck
like,
with them too much.
yeah,
I
no, I
just
suck. I think the thing that like appeals to me is you don't have to put effort and time into it. Like you can just pick it up and play for 4 hours and it's fine. Unlike an
true.
MMO, you have to put hours and hours and hours to like, go out farming, collect materials, make weapons.
Yeah.
Like
And you always have
there's
that on-demand action, right? Like where in an
yeah,
MMO you'd be like have a lot of downtime to fill a group or something, and
yeah. Where like to play a shooter, you can just log on, be an absolute casual, go in, kill people in the game,
maybe
and
I just hated
leave.
sucking so much. I just suck so much at these games. I hate it. Like I try PUBG and I run around the map like an absolute coward, right? Like just trying to stealth everywhere. I never get into a car. I never run. I just I'm like permanently sneaking or
Yeah,
crawling, so that nobody would see me.
I sucked
And
in
eventually, like
PUBG.
I find a weapon, and like the first person I meet just kills me, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I so bad at this?
That's why I
But
stopped
yeah,
playing PUBG because I found the same thing. I was spending like 40 minutes like running around a game and then you die like within 10 seconds
yeah.
and then you gotta wait again for a match. Yeah, I was shocking at PUBG. I think I'm decent at COD. I'm not great, but I'm decent.
Oh
Yeah.
well, there you go. It's awesome, man.
My KDs are normally like
I just
equal, so
I
that's
think the
good.
last shooter I played was Battlefield 3 that I
Oh
actually
yeah,
played a bit,
I played
and
that.
I sucked. And I have a lot of my friends that play these games are really good at them, so I'm always like
Oh,
I'm like the I'm like the dead weight in the group,
poor
that they
Roca.
always have to tell where to go. And I can't even see, like in these, I don't know, like when I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare a
Yeah.
little bit further back, right? Like at LAN parties back in the day, right? Like there'd be I'd be like okay at it. I'd be able to like recognize an enemy running somewhere. And Battlefield, I just can't freaking see it. I'm like, I see a guy running through an area in camouflage, and I don't even recognize there's a person there, right? And,
That's so cool.
I watch a friend play, and I don't even see like they're just shooting randomly in the air to me and hitting something. I'm
I
like,
like to
okay,
think me and my friends were all pretty like equal playing skill. Like obviously there's like we have people that are like friends that are better than us, but none of us are like absolutely crap and none of us are absolutely amazing.
hmm.
We're
The
all
skill
pretty
disparity isn't too great
yeah.
where it becomes where it gets to the point where like one person feels bad, basically.
Yeah, none of us feel bad. None of us feel like we're carrying each other. No one feels like they're
Yeah, yeah,
dragging the team along.
that's
We're all
good.
pretty
I just
equalish.
always feel like I'm the freaking dead weight. I
Yeah,
hate it.
we're
I
pretty
hate sucking
lucky.
at games. Like I'm very much a I play to be good at a game kind of player,
Yeah, that's why you're one of the elitists in raids.
and yeah,
Yeah,
and like and those games, like I get to that point, and then it's kind of difficult to even fall out of it in a way, right?
yeah,
Like I feel like I could log back into Guild Wars 2 and still like play with those kind of players, right, without too much of an issue. But I couldn't log into Counter Strike and compete even with like the I don't know
yeah.
slightly below average players.
See, I'm the total opposite. I can log into COD and give me like a few warm up games. I'm like, oh yeah, we can start winning now. And then we'll just like win most of our games. Log into Guild Wars 2, it's like, what the fuck's a rotation? Like,
Yeah,
how do I sub a golem? Like,
Yeah,
Man,
well, I
that
spend a
golem's
lot
gonna
of
be the
time
death
with
of
Golem
me.
too, right? Yeah.
Oh,
But everybody has their like fortes, right?
yeah, but
Um,
I've only been playing shooters for like 2.5 years. Never been a shooter. I remember like years ago, I was at a gaming convention and I played Halo on a controller, and I spent the whole time looking at the freaking sky and walking off cliffs because I couldn't even like move. I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah,
yeah,
it was pretty
yeah, that's
horrid.
me.
Yeah, that's why I don't use a controller. Mouse and keyboard all the way. Yeah. Oh yeah, we do. We
Me
have.
in Battlefield, me in Battlefield would be like, "Oh, there's a plane there. Let's try to get in." And then I'd like fly and I immediately crash. And like three people would be like, "Why the fuck did you take the plane? Ah, man." You know.
We have a friend, and he would purposely crash the plane with us in it, but he would
So
jump out and not tell us. And then he jumps out and like we're like, "Where'd you go?" And he can't like swap seats in the plane or anything. And next thing you know, you die, and he's there just going, "Oh yeah, I jumped out." I was like, "You what?"
that's actually really funny though. I think that's really funny.
It is funny. He's definitely the troll one of the group. Yeah. You just go, "Oh my
That
god, why
sounds
we
like
bring you for?"
say that's a content provider, right? On the stream. That's like a teammate that provides you with funny clips and
Yeah,
you know, highlights.
he definitely does. Very much so. I bet chat can guess who we're talking about, and it's not Hammy, by the way, guys. Before anyone guesses Hammy. Yeah, we'll see. Oh dear. Good old art remembering of stuff, isn't it? Memory lane.
Absolutely.
So, where are you at now with your streaming and stuff? Because you're not using a cam at the moment.
I mean, if I'm streaming at all, right? I've basically gone inactive. Um, decided to focus more on real life and
Real life during COVID.
also, yeah. Well, I mean, I still work, right? And
Yeah.
I've noticed when I started working that I've like the most of the time when I was streaming, I was in uni, right? Where I had a lot more flexible schedule,
Yeah.
and a lot of days I just have like the whole afternoon that I could be home. Of course, that wasn't necessarily great for my studies, right? But like I had that time, and I didn't always have that pressure, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm working, and like you get up early in the morning and you come back home when it's if it's in winter, you go to work when it's dark, you come back when it's dark, right?
Yeah.
And it just it can be very stressful, and I come home and I'm tired, and when I stream when I'm tired, yeah, I just got to that point where whenever I streamed, I got really tired, and I felt like I didn't bring the amount of energy, right? I didn't,
Oh, I'm totally
and
hearing you.
what and whenever I felt like I'm sure you can relate to this, right? Whenever
Yeah.
you feel like you can't really convey good entertainment, then it feels like you're kind of failing at streaming in a way, right? It feels like when I notice myself get tired and unengaging on a stream, it makes me feel frustrated about that stream. It makes me feel like I've undelivered,
Yeah.
um,
Definitely.
and that frustrated me a lot. I felt like I was like my streams weren't as good as they could be. They were getting more and more boring, and of course then also I stopped playing my main game, Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
So of course a lot of people would leave my stream and my channel, right? I've lost a huge amount of followers when
Oh
I kind of
wow.
announced that I'm kind of ready to quit, right?
Yeah.
When I quit the partner program, so I'm very few people do this, but when I quit Guild Wars 2, I kind of like decided to quit the partner program as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I announced that I'm leaving the partner program. I lost like 200 Twitter followers in a day.
Oh
Like
wow.
like people just immediately unfollow.
Holy dooly.
Yeah,
That's
and
that sucks.
I think since I reduced my streaming, I've probably like I don't have growth on my channel anymore, right? Like I've probably lost like 300 followers in total since I quit Guild Wars 2 on Twitch. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
so
people
interesting.
people are very quick to
Guild Wars
but
2 is
and I
very a
can
Guild
blame
Wars
them,
2
right?
only. I've noticed that Guild Wars 2
Yeah,
people don't really branch
exactly.
anywhere. Yeah.
People watched me for Guild Wars 2, and I can't blame them for that, right?
Yeah.
Because people watch for a game, and that's what they were there for. And of course, once you stop providing that game, right, then
Yeah.
surely if that's the reason they're there for, right? Of course, you appreciate it as a streamer, when you see there's some people there that don't only watch you for the game that you play,
Thank you,
or
shot.
like only for the color of pixels that you're moving on the screen at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, and actually do stay for your personality. And I'm really grateful that, I mean, how much is nowadays I stream like maybe once a month, right? The
Yeah,
last
right.
time I streamed was like when a new raid came out in Final Fantasy. I like streamed a prog for a week, and then I just stopped streaming for like 1.5 months completely.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm lucky that I even still have a few people show up that still, engage. So that's I'm really happy about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely I'm basically inactive as a streamer. I only stream when I feel like it. I only stream like on weekends or I don't know, a Friday night when I have a game that I actually enjoy
Yeah, when you
and
want
feel
to.
like streaming.
Yeah.
It's not like I actually streamed. Like if you grow your channel, you consistency is a big thing as a streamer, right? A big
Yeah.
important factor. And I've kind of thrown all of that overboard. Like I know like what you'd kind of have to do for growth as a streamer, but I just don't really care about it anymore. It's purely like purely a hobby for me. I only do it when I enjoy it.
No, that's fair enough. I totally get the whole like working a lot and being tired afterwards. Like, I'm in that position now. Like, I've just gotten a full time job and I'm
Yeah,
trying to figure out my streaming around work and everything.
it's
And it's
difficult, isn't it?
exhausting. And I have training
Yeah.
on top of that. I'm just like, holy shit.
And a lot of people don't realize that streaming isn't just playing games, right? Streaming a
Yeah.
game and playing a game is different. When you have a camera pointed at you and you're trying to be engaging and you're trying to interact with chat and be funny and give some sort of value to watching you play the
Yeah.
game over just playing the game, right?
It's
And
definitely not relaxing.
yeah, it's exhausting. It's work,
It's
right?
like it's mentally taxing, like having to like focus on a
Yeah,
game and focus on chat and make sure you like acknowledge everyone in chat and make sure you don't miss anything in
exactly.
chat and
It's intense and it takes
yeah.
a lot of brain power. It takes a lot of yeah, it can be exhausting. And when you do that after 8 hours of work, that's been
Yeah.
exhausting as well.
And then you got the stuff behind the
Then
scenes, like if you're making new overlays or getting clips or making like Twitter posts or if you're
yeah,
making videos for Instagram or TikTok or whatever you're making content
yeah,
outside for.
exactly.
It's a lot that goes on. And then you got like your
You have the
discourse
whole
to try and keep the
management
community
side.
going as well. And it's like,
Yeah,
holy
yeah,
shit.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
like a whole management side to being a streamer as well, right? Like where you manage your socials, your
Yeah.
content, your marketing almost, right? That's
So I've
definitely.
actually given up on Twitter.
Um,
Twitter
Oh,
just
I'm all about Twitter nowadays. Like
Twitter
that's I
pissed
don't
me
stream
off.
anymore, but I'm fucking active on Twitter. Like
I could
I go
not
nuts
grow
there.
Twitter at all. I remember
Oh
there was
yeah.
like 2 months I was trying to get to like 600. Like I just wanted to get to 600 and then I finally got to 600 and it dropped back again. And then
Oh, I remember seeing a bunch of tweets about it. Yeah,
yeah, and then I'm like this is
and
just
everyone
so
always.
stupid.
Yeah,
And then none of my
I
tweets
mean,
like people don't see my tweets or people just don't comment or whatever. And then I've noticed
oh
that
yeah.
I now do a lot of Instagram and TikTok and I'm pretty much on 600 on both of those social medias and I've only been focusing on that on like, you know, two
Well,
months,
look,
three
if you enjoy
months.
those, right? And those are, I think, a
Yeah.
lot more interactive medias, right? Like where you actually like show yourself and you make videos and
Yeah.
present yourself, which I think is much more what you do, right? Like you do like your streaming format. I think it works so much better for that, really, right?
Yeah. So
So
I'm
if
just
you
like,
enjoy that, go
I'm
for
like,
that.
stuff this. I'm getting growth on there fast. I'm getting growth on Twitter. I'm not getting any growth on Twitter really.
I mean, neither am
And
I.
I just
I
found
st-
Twitter was just so complaining and whinging.
yeah, yeah, no, I mean, Twitter is a cesspool, absolutely. But,
So
I
I
fit
just
right in there
stopped.
because I'm the disgruntled raid guy that only complains about game shortcomings, right? So, like,
Yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
I just stopped on that and been focusing on the other ones. And it's
See,
been
I'm not at all about. I don't like any form of social media that makes me take selfies and stuff. I don't know. I never even like turning on a face cam much, right? Like
yeah.
always something about that I never really got into. I totally, if somebody gave me a VTuber model, I would fucking use it. Okay, even though I'm not about that at all, right? But just having an avatar that I don't have to turn on face cam for, that is like an idea that is very appealing to me, right?
I totally get that.
But
I'm only 50-50 with the face cam. I think I have it because I am very animated and stupid. And the times I don't have like face cam on, I would do something like really like I don't know, I'll pull a fucking stupid face or something. And I'm
but you
like,
do
oh
so
yeah, they
much cool
can't see
stuff with the
me.
face cam,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they don't
because
see
you like
me.
I've seen you in like the costumes and like dressed up as an egg and stuff, which is so hilarious.
Yeah,
Like
the
it
egg.
brings so much value. And
Yeah.
I look at that and I'm like, I could never achieve this kind of entertainment, right?
I
I don't
love
think
the
I'm the
dressing
personality
up.
for it, right?
Yeah, I do. I love the dressing up. I now have an Alice in Wonderland costume. I have an Anna, like Princess Anna. I love Princess Anna. I have a costume of her. Yeah, wait.
Princess Anna
Yeah, you know from Frozen,
from
like
where?
Frozen. How
Oh, I
there's
never watched Frozen.
oh well,
Um,
there's Elsa, and everyone loves Elsa because she has like magic
yeah,
hands and can freeze everything. But I'm like, no, I like Anna. No, wait.
I can feel some real content there.
Yeah, Elsa's
Princess. It's
like
like, oh, it's look,
hands.
everybody loves Elsa. Elsa.
Yeah, because Elsa's like the one that has all the magic powers and everything. But Anna, she's hilarious. Anna's really funny.
Is that the red-haired one?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. See, I know Frozen. I know my lore. I've got my facts.
She's the cool one. She's got the sense of humor. I like
Okay.
Anna. Yeah.
She's the character that you'd actually have to see the movie for to actually understand him.
Yeah, and I like to channel my inner Anna.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. That's why I face cam. And I really am enjoying IRL streaming as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And see, that's another thing
Yeah.
that I don't think I could. Like, I'd feel so awkward. Like, if I went out to a public space and pulled out a camera and started talking to chat, I just constantly feel like, oh no, is that person watching me? Is that person watching me? And I think it's so. I respect it so much that
I
people.
still feel that sometimes. And sometimes you'll see me go really quiet. I'll be like, I'm just not going to talk for a second. I'll like just start whispering to chat. And then I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, I'll talk again now. There's no one around me. Like, yeah. And then
yeah, I
people
can
ask
only
you
imagine that.
questions and stuff sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, it's live streaming. There's
Oh
people
yeah,
around the
yeah. The
world
people.
watching. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't
cool.
know. I'd feel super awkward. I'm just way too like socially awkward for that stuff. Like I get very very awkward.
Yeah, I probably look
I'm
awkward when I
very
do it. It's
much
like,
I'm very much the secluded gamer hole kind of, play video games in my holed up in my room.
the difference
And
is you have talent for your computer games to play like elite raids and stuff. My gameplay is shocking that I rely on like my personality and everything, which is why IRL just works for me as well. Like, yeah, pretty much that's
you
how it
see
goes.
whatever works, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah,
Well, I don't think there's a huge amount of talent involved, really. I don't consider myself very talented. I just practice a lot
have you not
and
seen?
repeat a
Do
lot.
you not remember me and you trying to teach me raids?
Oh, you were. I do remember that. Yeah,
I would go
yeah,
so
you were very
aggro.
resistant to rotations.
Ah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I mean, you could still like you still improved anyway, right? Like you'd spend the day on the golem, and you'd listen to advice, and you listen to people like tell you how to do stuff,
yeah,
and you significantly improve still, right?
yeah,
Like maybe you weren't all the way up there with the pro early players, which in your defense is probably one of the more difficult classes in the game as well.
yeah,
And but you managed to get to a good level, and you could pull your weight, right?
yeah. I now
So.
understand ping as well. And I would always say, like, no, ping isn't my issue. I can play on 200 ping. And now I play games where I have, like, you know, 10
Yeah,
ping. And I'm like, oh
200 ping
shit,
is an issue.
wow. That's amazing. And I'm like, I get it now. It took me playing shooters to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Yep, anyway. But yeah. Well, Roca, this was like a really long podcast.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, God, we've been talking for ages.
I
Has it
know.
been 2 hours already?
It has been.
Oh, wow. Time passes when you don't sleep.
I know, and when I haven't spoken to you for so long as well, like it's been a good
You say that
time.
usually is this are we like how long are your podcasts usually?
Like an hour.
Ha ha ha! Twice the time, boys.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's been good.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you so much for having me. It was really enjoyable.
it was. Everyone loves your accent. I was actually thinking like when they kept saying they like your accent, I'm like I hardly notice your accent now because I'm so used to your accent.
Well, thank you very much. I try very hard to speak the English language on a passable level.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is Roca. He's from Germany. He streams on the odd occasion. Um, I have a lot of respect for Roca as a streamer and knowledge and everything. Um, you guys can go give him a follow for when he does stream.
Sounded like
um,
Bruno.
and I'm like, I just want you to wait, Bruno. What movie is that
Oh
off?
boy. Sacha Baron Cohen movie. I'm guessing. And
I can't remember.
yeah, yeah, my
It,
profile picture does wear a mask. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, go give him a follow. He was primarily a Guild Wars 2 player. He now plays Final Fantasy 14, plus like little other games on the side as well. I will put this on YouTube, so hello YouTube people. And down below on YouTube we'll have all his links and social media.
Oh, hello
Um,
YouTube.
yeah, this was my first live podcast. How cool was
True,
that?
true. I can't
Yeah.
believe you've never done these live before. Like it's like
No.
all podcasts I was on, they always like I just assumed it would be live, and
I was too scared to do it live. I was like, oh my
it's
god,
fun though, isn't it?
I have to do
Like
like an
you get
introduction and
to
I have to like I don't know, look at chat and do I talk to chat? Do I ignore chat? Do I read chat? I'm like, and how do I talk to you? I was like, yeah, I was so overthinking a lot. Yeah.
I think it was very cozy with chat today, right? Like you could see the occasional comment. You can always like pick something out every now and then to like jump on a topic. I think it has its advantages, right?
Yeah. It was
It was
good.
very fun.
But
I had a
yeah.
good time. Thank you
Well,
so much for inviting me, Princess.
no, thank you for being here,
Absolute
Roka.
pleasure.
Yep. I just
Sing.
want to point out I'm still your number one like sub.
You are, yes. Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
you've been like one of my longest supporters ever. Oh God, Princess, I love you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, longest
It's
supporter. Have the number one badge and
guys,
everything.
I just want to say, right, when Princess invited me to this, she like DM'd me like super and like such a what did you say? I was like, hey, Roca, do you like want to be part
Do
of
you
my
want to
shitty
be
little
my
podcast?
lame podcast?
And I'm like, no, I don't want to be part of your lame podcast. You better fucking sell this product to me, okay? Like, stop being so humble, Like, you better
Yeah.
invite me to the best podcast I've ever been on, right?
Yeah. I've quite enjoyed
Oh,
it.
and you nailed it, I would say. It was
Oh,
very enjoyable.
thanks. Yay. Well, I've enjoyed your company and having a chat with you. So, yeah. Thanks, Roka. That's it.
All right, well, I guess that wraps it up then.
And that's a wrap.